For those of you at home, we're getting into it. The real stuff is happening in a couple of days. Stay tuned as we go live with our NBA 9-cat draft right after this. Good evening and welcome back to Ball Logic. I'm your host tonight, the horse, the Braino, the brain. Brain talks ball. He's in the passenger seat because he's the one involved in this draft. So I'm here to help facilitate some conversation and to hopefully keep him on track with his rogue picks. But Braino, how you going?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks for taking the reins tonight. It's going to be nice. It's nice to just sit in the passenger seat every now and again, but two, I'm going to need some thinking time, and my brain doesn't work that fast to be able to kind of competitively draft as well. This is a money league, mind you, so I need to. I want to put in some form of thought into this league, and also talk about it at the same time. So you saved me a little bit there. Thanks for that.
You're welcome, mate. You're welcome. You're the voice of the NBA along with Matrix of the preseason, and we're 70 episodes deep. So for those that need their last minute fix when we're talking NBA content prior to the season starting Wednesday. That's right. It's only a couple of days away. Go back, have a bit of a look. We've got streamable targets. We've got waiver wire ads. We've got the best of your all 5 target groups, your point guards, shooting guards, power forwards, small forwards, and your centers. You know, who to fade even. Busts, who we think are busts, who we think of our favorites in each round of your fantasy drafts as well. There's plenty of content out there for you to get your heads around. But Braino, tonight you are drafting from the 4 spot. So give us a bit of an idea, regardless of whether the people that are in this draft are watching or not. Where's your head at? Where do you think you're going with this?
Well, I've got the 4th pick. Look, if everything falls the way that it should or normally does, and look, you know, I've never drafted with these guys before. Obviously, it's a Ball Logic league, and we haven't really played with these guys. So, who knows what's going to happen. But my head's at, obviously, if Luka falls to me at 4th, which I think he will, I'll probably go in that direction. I think there's a very clear top 4 this year. We've seen a million drafts. We're coming to the end of it now. And it's, whatever your flavour is, whether it's Wemby and Jokic at 1 or 2, and you can swap the order, then it's Shea at 3, Luka at 4. And I'd be very surprised if it went against that, considering we're just in a 12-team, 9-cat standard head-to-head league. Shouldn't be really any funny business. But look, if Shea falls to me at 4 and someone is, maybe H-Town Hustlers here is high on Luka at 3, I'd be more than happy to take Shea at 4. It might just kind of change my strategy a little bit. But yeah, that's probably where I'm thinking.
100%, mate. And also for those that are watching us for the first time before we get in the draft, we've got a Patreon up and going. The link is in the description below. Plenty of articles, bit of a spreadsheet that you've put together as well, Braino, which indicates how many games each team has each round, who to target, who to fade, and a whole lot more.
Yeah, all of the guys have been doing the hard yards this year, putting some awesome content together. The draft board itself gets some changes every now and again, and obviously after tonight that becomes kind of irrelevant. But we'll be talking waiver wire pickups. We'll be talking, and aside from Supercoach, there's plenty of content in that realm as well. But aside from that, we'll be basically have a WhatsApp that's going to give you full access to us as well, which is pretty valuable to get our thoughts on potential waiver pickups, trades, and tons more. So yeah, it's going to be a very good year. Looking forward to it. It's been a really hectic preseason, but we're nearly into the real stuff now, Horse.
Oh, I can't wait. You watch the preseason games and you're just like, oh, come on, just play your best players. A lot of bench players have been getting their time towards the back end of the preseason, which in some cases it probably builds up some players more than what they need to, where you've got your bench players playing 28, 30 minutes when really they're just filling a void because these games that have been happening in the preseason don't really matter in the grand scheme of things. So we see that the draft has started, mate, and without too much surprise, your number 1 and your number 2, it's Jokic and Wembanyama going the top 2 there. That's been like every draft we've been in.
Yeah, I mean, look, you can probably, there you go, H-Town Hustlers taken Luka and thrown my predetermined strategy out the window, but I tell you what, I'm not upset to take Shai Gilgeous-Alexander at 4. That's a very easy decision. I think there's a very clear 4, top 4 this year. I'll take Shai at 4. I was leaning into potentially a punt free throws build with Luka, punt field goal percentage maybe on the cards as well. And now I can probably just clear my queue out and re-strat, because now I can probably take best available, which I'd probably prefer to do, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching and you've got some questions, put them in the comments. We'll answer them as we go. Junkbuster here wants to know thoughts on Evan Mobley over Şengün. So, from my own personal experience, Brano, I did a 20-man draft today, and it all depends on the build and who you're looking for. But I was drafting from 18, and I drafted Amen Thompson with my first pick. And then on the way back, I was able to pick up Evan Mobley. So it really solidifies my defensive stats. Şengün for you, who would he be good coupled with?
Well, I mean, Şengün's a really poor free throw percentage shooter. He's pretty bad in categories, but also elite in probably 5 categories. So he's great in a heavy punt. If you took Luka, you can take Şengün in the 3rd. Honestly, I reckon he'd get back to you at, the 26th pick, I think that ends up being, if you're not in a 3rd round reversal. Şengün could be a nice little target there at the 26 to 30 mark. Potentially. I don't know whether I'd be taking him in the 2nd round, but Mobley, to answer your question, has just gone there at the 10th pick to, I think that's Pistol. So that
it is Pistol.
Obviously goes to show how highly regarded Mobley is this year. I wouldn't be taking him in the 1st. But yeah, definitely a 2nd round pick and definitely ahead of Şengün for me.
For those that are listening on audio, we'll go through the picks as we go. So Jokic, Wembanyama, Doncic, SGA to Braino at 4, Antetokounmpo at 5, Cunningham 6, Davis slides to 7, Edwards at 8, Trae Young 9, a very nice punt turnovers build, if that's the way Matthews' nice team is looking. Evan Mobley at the 10, our first real surprise of the night. Devin Booker at 11, and Hoops, I did it again. A little bit of Britney Spears on the turn here, Braino. Apart from Evan Mobley being taken there at 10, everything pretty solid there.
Yeah, no surprises for me, I don't think. I'm just looking at who hasn't gone yet, and there's no one really that surprised me that hasn't gone. I think it's all as per the schedule, but yeah, definitely a bit early on Mobley. We see that Steph Curry goes there on the turn at 12 into Tyrese Maxey, so a very guard-heavy start there. I see it's pretty popular around this point of the turn as well to go double guard, considering we've got Edwards, Trae, Booker, Curry, Maxey, Donovan Mitchell. There's and James Harden hasn't gone yet as well. There's a lot of great elite guard options. Amen Thompson, if you want to start to punt a couple of categories, that they're ripe for the picking, these guards around the turn of the 1st and 2nd.
Yeah, for sure. The Steph Curry, Tyrese Maxey, very nice little double guard build there. Lots of points, lots of threes, assists. Probably looking at punting, your blocks and your rebounds to start with. Karl Anthony Towns there goes at the turn. 2nd round pick to 0 Fox Given. That's right, FOX Given. Pretty interesting. I've actually got Karl Anthony Towns on my big board, Braino, almost at the back end of the 2nd round, given what's happened there in New York.
Yeah, he slid. He hasn't slid out that far for me. He's definitely. I would have taken Harden ahead of Karl Anthony Towns, that's for sure. I'd say Harden's probably more of a 12 pick than he is a 15. But Cat's probably around that 14-15 mark for me. I still think he's going to be great. He's dropping a little bit with with Mitch Robinson coming into the starting lineup. That's a concern for his rebounds especially.
Evan Mobley and James Harden. So Pistol gets Harden there in the 2nd round. You know what? If you're Pistol and you got Harden in the 1st and Mobley in the 2nd, you'd be just as happy there. So no qualms there for Pistol. Sabonis with Trae. So looking to solidify assists early there to Matthews' nice team. Kevin Durant coupled with Anthony Edwards there. Next is Jalen Johnson. Nice little defensive stack there with Anthony Davis, Cade Cunningham, and Alperen Şengün to Cookies and Kareem. Little clever name, that one. Matt's majestic name is next on the clock. He takes Paolo Banchero.
Braino. That's a bit early.
So, yeah, in 9K, that's probably a little bit early, given that his counting stats are not bad, but his percentages historically have been quite poor.
Yeah, they have. Sorry, just give me a second.
You're right. You're drafting now. So Matt's majestic team goes the double point power forward, build here with Braino. As suggested earlier or as stated earlier, SGA allows him to be able to go anywhere here. You don't really have to punt anything. And as we see here, you've leaned into that double guard build, which you've done a few times this preseason, and you're able to really nut out a really nice overall build, I guess, or overall team. What are you looking at with your double guard build here? Are you now looking at, you're getting plenty of points here, assists? Mitchell gets the occasional rebound as well. Is there anything you're punting yet?
Nah, not yet. No, obviously at the moment I could lean into a punt blocks build if I really wanted to. It just makes it hard because usually when you're punting blocks, you're also punting rebounds. So it does get a little bit hairy there and a little bit tricky to manage that at the back end of the draft, especially. So I'm keeping my mind open at this point. The big men are the ones that I think, there's a couple of clear options, obviously in Giannis, AD, Mobley, Cat, that are standing out at the moment. They're gone now. Obviously, coming into the third and fourth is probably where I'll pick up a big man. I'm just trying to work out exactly which one I want, and it's probably a little bit early to go on a couple of these guys. So it's double guard build is all about points, assists. Donovan Mitchell will get them with no Garland for the first month in Cleveland. Steals are going to be great. Free throws good. I'm just looking for someone who isn't deficient in too many categories at this point, and these two are pretty well-rounded players.
Yeah, for sure. And then Thompson goes to Luka. Pretty sure that was an auto pick there. Right after you, mate. LaMelo Ball, the first Charlotte Hornets man taken to the Charlotte Hornets man himself, Josh, there at pick 23. 24, Josh Giddey to couple with Nikola Jokic and then Jalen Brunson on the turn there. Luke's agreeable team. Fairly sure that's a fairly generic team. Otherwise, we'll have to have a word to Luke about his team names. He's got bits and pieces of everything there, doesn't he?
Yeah, Luke's gone, Jokic, Giddey, Brunson. So, Giddey's one that's starting to go around that kind of, 24 to 30 mark, which is fine. I don't hate him there. Obviously, his free throw hurts you a little bit. Definitely punting, turnovers. Threes as well. He could have probably leaned into a punt threes build. Brunson isn't a huge 3-point shooter, so maybe that's what he's probably gonna go with. Potentially punt threes in this, which I don't hate. It's always a weird one too because you can just find threes on the waivers so easily. So it's hard to work out which direction you want to go with punting threes. But sure. and then Chet goes to Josh there to Whisperer at the 2, so he's gone with Wemby, LaMelo, and Chet. A nice little build, locking up blocks nice and early there, isn't he?
100%. Yep, Josh has done a really good job here these first 3 rounds with his players. Jaylen Brown goes to H-Town. You're on the clock. I'll let you talk through that, mate. But, yeah, Jaylen Brown for me. So, given that we've still got Derek White on the board, not to sway you at all, Braino, but I still think Derek White has higher upside than Jaylen Brown this year when we're talking 9-cat basketball. As we see you take Jaren Jackson Jr. The injury issues at Memphis and the fact that they're going to have to lean into Triple J very heavily, did that sway you there?
Look, I've had him here all preseason. Obviously, I had to adjust him down my board when he was injured, and the rumours were that he wasn't going to be starting the season. But obviously, him playing that last preseason game for Memphis gives me a little bit more confidence. Yes, he might sit a back-to-back. I'm not overly concerned about that. I think he's still third-round value, and obviously he wasn't going to make it back to me for me to take that risk. And I think I wanted a big that can, obviously center eligible. I wanted a big also that can shoot the 3 because it fits my build. I want to make sure I lean into that and doesn't hurt my free throw percentage. So, I probably could lean into a punt rebounds build here if I really wanted to. I'm not 100% sure I will yet. I feel like I've probably still got a pretty well-rounded team. I can go in nearly any direction from here now.
Yep. Scotty Barnes goes after Triple J there at the 3-5. 3-6, Pascal Siakam, the first of our Indiana Pacers players off the board to cookies and cream. Jamal Murray next to pair with Jalen Johnson, Anthony Davis. Jalen Williams, we're talking about the OKC legend that is the small forward, not the center, goes in the 3rd round there. That fits pretty nicely there with Anthony Edwards and Kevin Durant, as well as we see Derek White going off the board to Matthew's nice team. Rim shots, pistol takes Zion Williamson, skinny Zion, mind you, Braino.
Yeah, out of my queue, that's for sure. I don't know whether he fits my build now, but I'll tell you what, I'm more than happy to take Zion anywhere after 30, to be honest. I think even I'd be tempted to take him around that kind of 26 to 28 maybe. But yeah, he's a good pick. And I think you just got all of your hopes are resting on Zion's health. And, he's got to play a certain amount of games this year to activate parts of his contract for next year. He's got to stay under a certain amount of weight. He's got to meet body fat percentage targets or thresholds, I think it is, throughout the season at 6 different weigh-ins. So he's going to need to be on his game, and he's going to need to play games this year for for the Pels. So yeah, let's hope he can do that for Pistol's sake anyway.
Stick to your man shake, son. Trey Murphy goes at the 3:11, 3:12. Tingus Pingus. It is Kristaps Porzingis. I get a bit excited whenever I see his name. Junkbuster wants to know, though, Braino, would you say Mobley is more safe than Şengün if you had to pick now?
Mobley safer than Şengün? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely think Mobley takes the next step forward. Jared Allen, we've seen what his role is. Like, this is, Mobley's kind of role, and Jared Allen just kind of does the dirty work and picks up a board here or there. I think Evan Mobley takes a big step forward this year, which is why I'd be more than happy to take him early second. Pistol's taking him in the first, and honestly, can't even argue it, to be honest. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah, for sure. Austin Reeves, the second Laker. Just had to double check that because LeBron is still on the board. I don't have access to the board, ladies and gentlemen. It is on Braino's end, so I don't get the luxury of being able to see that. But Austin Reeves at the 4-1-0 Fox, that is the animal given on the board or up now. Devin Booker, Karl Anthony Towns, Trey Murphy the second. Got plenty of scoring there. He picks Ron James at the 4-2. 41 years old, Braino. Where do you think his game's at for 9-cat basketball this year?
I reckon he plays less than 50 games this year. And that's probably why he's slid as far as he has. He's a perennial second-round pick. Like, more than happy to take him at the turn of the second. That's probably how high I would have taken him if he was fit and healthy, but 41 years old. With sciatica, obviously that's an old man's injury. It's only going to get worse and worse for him as well, I'd say. It's going to be something he'll have to manage all year. So that's my concern. But getting him in the fourth round of a draft is incredible value. You've just picked him up at 38 there for 0 Fox given. So, love that for him. And, he's starting to put together a pretty nice team there.
Yeah, definitely. Pistol picks up Dyson Daniels to put alongside Zion, Harden and Mobley there. For someone that doesn't really have any ball knowledge. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Pistol. You're building a very nice team there, mate. Desmond Bain then goes next at the 4-4. Big Bam from Miami goes at the 4-5. Miles Turner, very nice to ATL Goldie. He's building a very nice defensive team with Davis, Johnson and Turner there. Franz Wagner goes next. Ja Morant after that at the 4-8. But I'm going to circle back to Pistol's team and Dyson Daniels, Braino. Yep. You do you pick first? You've picked up Cooper Flagg, and we'll talk about that in a second. But Dyson Daniels, Atlanta Hawks legend, Bendigo legend. Fourth round. Last year, people were picking him 120s, 130s, and then he just went on some absolute tear to be one of the best defensive players in the game. You happy with Daniels in the fourth?
Yeah, I can take Daniels in the fourth. We got him at 39. I think that's around the range that I'd happily take him. I'm just looking at Pistol's team here as well. He's definitely, he's gone with Harden, who has a good free throw percentage and pretty well-rounded game, but Zion, Dyson Daniels, both are pretty poor free throw shooters, so maybe you're going to have to make a decision on which way you go there. But in terms of, we're talking stocks, Mobley, Harden can get a passing lane steal, and a real dirty fucking weak block as well. Loves a block, Harden. Those ones where he kind of slaps the ball out of their hand and they give it a block, not a steal. That's his kind of game. Into Zion and Dyson Daniels, I tell you what, stocks are pretty locked up for Pistol there with this build.
Cooper Flagg, mate, number one pick this year goes to your team. Point forward, Cooper Flagg could be very, very tasty this year.
It's a nice, the temptation was too much. I'm picking him up here at, 45, and he's crept up into the early 40s on my board, so I couldn't say no. And also, when I'm looking at a really well-rounded build, his field goal percentage won't be great. I could probably even make a decision if I wanted to maybe punt field goal percentage from here. But in saying that, everything else he does really well. He finds boards. He's a great stocks guy. It'll take him a while. I'm not expecting him to light the world on fire to start with, but he just has that pathway, doesn't he? He's got that opportunity that's sky high. We've seen how good this kid is, and I'm expecting exactly that. And I think where I got him, I feel his value.
Yeah, for sure. De'Aaron Fox goes next. Jimmy Butler, Denny Avdia, Brandon Miller. Really nice team there that Luke's putting together. But for those that are asking in the chat, Joe, have you guys got a classic Supercoach league going yet? Yes, we do. I've just put it in the comments, 817149. That is free for anyone to join. And Braino, I know you're on the clock shortly, mate, but if they happen to get the top score each week, what do they win?
Won themselves a standard squeeze prize pack. So shout out to the standard squeeze as always, day ones for us. So should get yourself involved and take us on, and we'll give the overall winner a pretty cool prize as well. I think we'll get a jersey out to the winner. So yeah, definitely. Is it 817149 is the code there you've just put in the chat. So jump on in, take us on. It's live Supercoach show tomorrow night as well. First weekly preview of the year.
Absolutely. Can't wait to get into that. As we see, I know Josh is a gambling man, and he's taken
this is just
a pretty good team prior to this, but this is Josh to a T. Joel Embiid.
So for everybody that isn't aware or doesn't follow Whisper or hasn't watched all of our drafts, so Josh has drafted Joel Embiid in every single league that he is in this year. So I think that's the 5th time that he's got Joel Embiid out of 5 drafts. So look, it could be a very sad year for Josh. His season could be over after the first month, or he wins every comp that he's in. And there goes right out of my queue, Kawhi Leonard. He was who I was going to be taking next.
He's done it to you. Yeah.
That hurts. Okay, give me some time to think here.
That's right. You go with what you're doing, mate. Kawhi Leonard does go just before you. Pistols in the chat. Nice to see you in there, mate. Pistol does no ball. Joe, nice to see you in the chat as well, mate. SMK. Howdy, brother. For those that are watching, please like, subscribe, and bell. We call it being the triple banger. But also, if you're listening to us on audio, that 5-star review helps us out and helps us get into the ears of those that love a little bit of banter along with their NBA fantasy or Supercoach knowledge. We've got 15 seconds left on the clock here. I'm not wanting to rush Braino, but...
No, you're all good. I'm sweet.
You're sweet. So we're about to see Peyton Pritchard, the Boston Celtics point guard, go to you in the 5th round. If this was last year, we'd be calling you crazy. But, geez, 12 months is a long time in not footy, but in basketball.
It's a little early. I feel like I had to reach a little bit there. I wasn't confident he'd come back to me. And I'm looking at the big man stocks at the moment that I can pick up. I don't necessarily. It's only a 1 center league, so I don't necessarily need to desperately go out and grab a center. And I can honestly, I can probably punt rebounds now. I don't know how many people are watching the show that are actually in the draft, but I might lean into something like a punt rebounds build. Considering I really don't have great rebounders in my team. Evan Jaren Jackson, great blocks guy, but not a good rebounder. So we'll see how we go. I've got a few bigs in my queue. It's just about how tempted I'm going to get and how much value I feel like there's going to be across the board.
It's usually come the 6th round. That's when a slew of centers go off the board. And as I speak, we've got Embiid in this round. Zubac goes off the board now. Walker Kessler goes off the board now. Vucevic from the Bulls goes off the board now. So the centers are starting to slide as we see Jordan Poole mashed in between those, and MPJ goes to Matthews' nice team. Before we talk about Tyler Herro, is this a 1 IR league as well?
2 IR.
Braino?
This one's 2 IR.
2 IR. Beautiful. So Pistol will be able to slot Tyler Herro into there. But MPJ, what do you make of what this guy is going to be doing this year at Brooklyn? Because it's going to be a lot of him and Thomas at least to start.
I'll tell you what, I really like what I've seen from him in the preseason. Questionable media choices this offseason, but
and I love it.
What he's doing on the court is really impressive, and I think he takes a next step up. Just a better opportunity. He gets to be the guy there now. It's very clear that he will be the guy in Brooklyn. Obviously, Cam Thomas is going to do his best to take that mantle, but MPJ just gets more shots, more opportunity, falls into more boards, more stocks. He's a good player. He gets to now finally showcase on a team where now the spotlight's on him. He gets to show everybody what he's truly capable of, and I don't think he had that opportunity in Denver.
Yeah, bang on. He was just sort of stuck in the corner, wasn't he? Just limited to a catch and shoot type of player. But yeah, Herro goes to Pistol, Kobe White next, OG and Nobi goes next at the 5-12, 6-1. Emmanuel quickly. A couple of questions, Braino, just before we start looking into your next pick. Junkbuster wants to know, what's your guys' opinion on Herro and Garland late or in the later rounds? Are they league winners? They absolutely are, because these are the guys that could make or break your year.
Yeah, Garland, he's that guy that's starting to go around the 5th to 6th now, and people are happy to stash, especially in IR leagues or IL plus leagues. Yeah, and definitely, he's only out a month, I think. He's due back late November, I think it is. So we're only missing him for 4 or 5 weeks, and that's not going to break your league. That's not going to lose you a league by taking a guy, especially in an IR league too. Like, you just go and stash him and pick someone up off waivers. So, Garland's a guy that I'd be very surprised if he isn't off the board in the next 12 picks.
Yeah, good. You start looking into your next picks. I know you're only 4 picks away, but Mason Miller, how are you, Mace? Is 3 players from one team too much? For example, my first 5 rounds went Cade, Curry, Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Porzingis. The only time it's ever going to be too much is if they're on a 2-game week for me. But when you're looking at someone like the Atlanta Hawks, Braino, and you've got Jalen Johnson, 3s, defense, Dyson, defense, Porzingis, 3s and defense, I don't think it's that bad. That's the Atlanta Hawks stack you kind of want.
Yeah. I don't think it's too much. I mean, you're playing with fire a little bit. It's kind of like that whole Shea, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren stack that a lot of people like to run with last year. Mm-hmm. You just obviously need to be careful with the team that you're stacking from more than anything. Like especially in a non-competitive team. If you're going and stacking players from maybe Miami even. I don't know how well they're going to go this year. They'll be okay, but I don't know whether they're going to be league beaters. So, you're going to see a bit more resting. You're going to see some tanking. You're going to see, especially from the bottom feeder teams, you're going to see a lot of restings and things like that. So, I just proceed with caution on those kinds of teams, I think. But I think 3 is max, though. Wouldn't be getting more than 3 players from one team.
No, absolutely not.
Funnily enough, in one of the last drafts that we did, got 3 Hawks players accidentally. So I had Trey, Porzingis, and Risa Shea in one of my drafts. As a Hawks fan myself, it could be a very depressing season, or it could be the best year yet. Could be
the best year of your life, yeah. Jarrett Allen goes at the 6'2", Laurie Markkinen 6'3", to pistol. Rudy Gobert, the French breadstick, goes at 6'4". Zach Levine at the 6'5". Interesting. You just concentrate on you for a second, Braino. Brandon Ingram at the 6'6". Julius Randle, the man that does heaps okay and a fair bit not too well, goes at the 6'7". Jalen Duren at the 6'8". One of my favourite players in the NBA you've just taken at the 6'9", and that's Martis Buzelis. Breakout year incoming for this young man.
Yeah, I'm so excited for Buzelis. He's a my guy pick. He's a guy that I'm just loading up on in every draft that I can possibly get him. I've taken him here at 69, which is even better because what a number to get him at. But that's probably starting to approach where I see him being a top 50 guy this year. So I'm happy to take him if he slides into the 60s. That's where he's sitting at on my draft board right now. So it'd be rude of me not to take one of my guys in the final league of the year for us. Had to get some more stocks in my boy.
Yeah, for sure. I rate it. How do you see... I'll ask you quickly before you get back into your pick. Jarrett Allen and Evan Mobley, the dual big combo there at Cleveland. Jarrett Allen's clearly the big that misses out there, but in the 6th round, do you see that as value for Jarrett Allen, or do you think that's about average?
Yeah, I'd say that's okay. He's been a bit of a boring guy, but he just does his job, doesn't he? Like, I'd probably be picking some other guys with maybe some more upside. But yeah, look, I can't argue with that. I think that's fine. Yeah. For the right build and for what you need, that's fine.
For sure. Shaden Sharp goes to Luke's agreeable team. He's got to change that name. Darius Garland goes to Josh. Grand Theft Rondo there at the 6'11". He's probably hoping to get some games out of Joel Embiid before Darius Garland comes back. Otherwise, his IR is going to be full of players. We're halfway through the draft now, Braino. How do you see yourself right now? How do you see yourself against the other teams and how your team's shaping up?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. I feel like I'm pretty well-rounded. I feel like I'm pretty happy with where I'm at. I'm probably looking for some... it's hard to say which direction I want to go. My blocks look pretty good. Points are great. Threes are great. Free throw percentage hasn't been hurt yet. So I just need to be really careful on the future picks if I want to not tank my efficiency. So that's probably the one challenge for me at the moment, is just looking at what's available right now and working out how can I stick with the theme of the team being we've gone quite small. I'm punting rebounds by the very clear look of things. So just got to really buff those other categories now.
Yeah, for sure. for sure. DeMar DeRozan goes at the 7-2, and we saw last round Zach LaVine. So the Sack Kings players are starting to go off the board, and going to make a bit of a call here, Braino, while you're looking to take your next pick. And in that, with injury concerns already over Sabonis, the Nets are going to struggle this year, but I think the next team who I think are going to struggle just as much is probably going to be the Sacramento Kings. There is a lot of nothing going on there at Sacramento. It's going to be, in my words, a shit show. They've got Westbrook now. They've got Schroeder. They've got, who else? Levine. They've got DeRozan. If Sabonis is hurt, they genuinely have no real backup. Drew Eubanks, if anyone. So it could be a really long year for the Sacramento Kings as Mark Williams just goes off the board now before your pick to the H-Town Hustlers. You got someone in the gun here?
Yeah. I just don't know whether it's a little too early. Another my guy for me, if you want to take a guess at who it's going to be. He hurts my free throw, though, which concerns me a little bit. He doesn't shoot threes. Actually, no, it doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. This guy does, though, and I think it's a little bit early, but I think I'm just going to pull the trigger on him now and go early on him. No, actually, you know what?
Let's see it.
I feel like Jalen Green only out for a week or two.
Okay.
I can live with that. I don't have any stocks on Jalen Green this year. We have 2 IR slots. I feel like now is around the time where I'd be happy to take him, considering it's not like he's going to be out forever. It's not a long-term injury. No. So that allows me to go and just stash him straight away and hopefully get someone off waivers.
Yep, we can see on the board there, his field goal percentage is really hurt at less than 42%.
Yep.
And then my guy goes next. Disappointed you didn't take him, but that's okay. That's a conversation for off air. It's Andrew Nemhard from the Indiana Pacers. He goes next at the 7-5. I have some massive stock in Andrew Nemhard this year, including a little bit of a Lockie Bramble responsibly, Most Improved Player of the Year award. Mikal Bridges goes next at the 7-6. Jakob Patal, 7-7. Paul George, PG, 7-8. Geez, if we get 30 games out of him this year, you'd be happy to FG's expert team. Osar Thompson then goes to the 7-9. Osar Thompson's another one of my guys. Big year ahead for Osar, especially now that Jaden Ivey's out for a month. Opens up more minutes there.
Yeah. I love Osar Thompson. He was the one that I might have pulled the trigger on. It just didn't fit my team. You know, not a threes guy, bad free throw shooter, and that's kind of what my team's been built on in this league. So, yeah, I just couldn't get him. But look, honestly, that's a great pick. I honestly think he slid a little bit there. Yeah, you probably could have got him in the 6th. But yeah, how deep are we now? We're at 6, 12, 72. We're about at the 80 mark now, aren't we? So, we're starting to get into that 80 territory now where, like, you can justify taking 60 blokes between 80 and 120. Like, there's just so many options where you go, yeah, that fits. And it all comes down to your squad and how that looks as well. So,
Absolutely.
Pistol's gone and got, I'm sure, a Maya guy in Khalil Ware. They're straight out of my queue. Even though he does rebound, he also shoots the 3 and does a lot of other things that I would have liked in my team. So, yeah, I would, if he made it back to me, Khalil Ware was straight into my team.
Yeah. Junkbuster with a question here, mate, which I don't think is going to take too much time to answer. If Donovan Klingen's on waivers, are you going to grab him?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, absolutely. Depending on, how deep your league is and what the format is and all that kind of stuff. But, he has to be on rosters, Donovan Klingen. Absolutely.
Has to be. Even if you're 10 teams and, 120 players deep, he's still got to be on a roster. Yes.
100%.
Yeah. Even though, like, I think both you and I have him around 90, in between 90 to 100 on our draft boards. So even in saying that, he's still very, very rosterable and going to get a lot of minutes there. It's him and Young Hansen at the Portland Trailblazers, 2 very young centers who are going to minute split. But, Klingen to start, he's going to get the first crack there. Norman Powell goes next after Khalil Ware. We're starting to see a few Heat players go off the board now. Cam Thomas to Hoops. I did it again. I will not sing anymore. Cam Johnson goes next at the 8-1. We see there he's got Steph Curry, Tyrese Maxey, Austin Reeves, Emmanuel Quickley, Cam Thomas, clearly tanking field goal percentage there.
Yeah, very obvious tactic, which is I like the tank field goal. I've done it in another draft, and now I'm probably doing it again here, looking at, like, not intentionally doing it, but when you start chasing away from rebounds and start really stacking your threes and points, those guys shoot the piss out of it. So yeah, that usually kind of comes with the territory and field goal percentage, copping a hit. We do see Donovan Clingan go there to pistol. So he's gone the double big back to back in Kalel Ware and Donovan Clingan in the 7th and 8th, which is a really good pick. And Matthew's nice team. We're going to have words, my friend, because he's taken Saar right out of my queue and made me now rethink everything I'm going to do. So throw back over to you, Horse.
Oh dear, DeAndre Ayton goes at the 8-2. Now, this is a guy who number 1 draft pick. He's played some pretty good basketball in the past. He's averaged almost 20 and 10 in the past. So when we're talking basketball numbers, he's quite good, but historically, he's not a very good teammate to have, Braino. A lot of people tend to rag out on the poor man. I know it's your pick now, so I'll let you go here. But there was an interesting little story or interesting little video on Instagram and X today. I forget who put it up, but it was about his teammates at the Phoenix Suns and other teams that he's been a part of that, yeah, he's not really the most liked player. Why do you think he's sliding so much in drafts?
Sorry, who are we talking about again?
DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, look, they put up some clips on socials about how he was ripping in last year to blokes who wouldn't rebound and wouldn't help rebound and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if people have seen that clip, but ripping into everybody around him, but then the effort that he went and put in on the defensive end was just non-existent. So, like, lots of frustration, missing assignments on defense, off-ball screens, just not following the plan, probably not listening. I understand. I think he's not a very likable guy, and obviously he's really competitive. He probably just hasn't handled those scenarios amazingly.
Mm-hmm. Clingan goes after him. Alex Saar, 8-4. Reed Shepherd. It's probably the earliest I've seen Reed Shepherd go at the 8-5. Tari Eason. I used to call him Tari pre-season, but now I think it is his season. I think he's in for a big role there at Houston. Josh Hart at the 8-7. We've seen that man slip from in the 40s all the way back to nearly the hundreds. And right now, 8th, 9th round, that's the right time for Josh Hart.
Yeah, it's crazy to think that he's going near the 100 now when everyone was so high on him as recent as 4 weeks ago. Obviously, coming off the bench isn't a great thing either. We already were projecting that the Knicks were going to, a lot of the Knicks guys were going to copy hit when it comes to minutes this year. But now, obviously, even less off the bench. So yeah, definitely not a guy that would fit into the build I'm trying to make here. But even so, yeah, great value at this point of the draft.
RJ Barrett goes next. Bradley Beal, you've taken him there. You do like yourself a little slice of the Bradley Beal pie. Christian Brown there. Devin Vassell, 8-11. Johnny Collins at the 8-12. Anthony Simons, 9-1. Jalen Suggs, 9-2. And just when we give Pistol his chocolates about Noah Ball, he goes out and says LeBron James will be traded out of LA this season.
Look, never going to happen. Not a chance. Not a chance. Not while Bronny's there. And this is he's already been very, very public about wanting to finish his career in LA. I don't see him going back to Cleveland, little Cleveland Swan song or any of that crap. I think it's just going to be LeBron will finish where he is right now this year in LA, and that'll be that. And he's got a no trade clause anyway, so he can decide where he goes or if he wants to go.
Yep, 100%. If you're enjoying the content, ladies and gentlemen, give us a little thumbs up in the chat. We would really appreciate that. Helps us get out into the algorithm that is NBA Fantasy and NBA Supercoach. That we'll be dropping our first week 1 live preview tomorrow night. H-Town Hustler's taking his time with his pick. I reckon that's just gone auto on him. Eggs Benedict the Matherin goes there at the 9-3. There's a bit of upside. I'll let you go with your pick, mate. But
thanks,
Matherin, he's another contender for me for the most improved player this year. No Halliburton. So there's going to be more minutes to start off with, more ball, more usage, more opportunity for Matherin. And he's one of those guys that never really shies away from the spotlight and never shies away from a shot. And he could really benefit this year.
Yeah, he absolutely could. I'm pretty high on Matherin this year. I guess it also comes down to, what this all looks like. Is Siakam the guy that's going to be kind of doing a bit of a Şengün at the top of the key? And are they going to be using him like a Jokic and using him as the main primary ball handler? Is it going to be Nembhard? You love him. I'm not as high. So one of us are going to be right. One of us are going to be wrong on that one. And I feel like regardless of that, It's a tricky one, but I think Matherin's going to score 20 points per game as a minimum. And,
Yep.
when you can get a guy that can score 20 points after 100 in a fantasy draft, you're laughing.
Points are hard to get that late in drafts, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I ended up taking Kevin Porter Jr. I was tossing up between him and another guy. I just need those assists at the moment. I feel like I went a few rounds without chasing assists. So, I thought I'd just lock them in and try and really solidify that category. Free throws not terrible either. He's not going to lose me that category. And he's not a guy that shoots high volume free throw anyway. Happy to roll with KPJ, and let's see if the other guy that was on my mind gets back to me in 20 picks. I don't think he will.
No.
I don't think he will.
Onyeka Okongwu goes next at pick 101. CJ McCullum, one of your guys from years gone by. I know you're a big CJ McCullum man. He often gets overlooked, but in 9-cat basketball, he does some pretty handy things.
Yeah, it's just health. That's all it is, really. Like, if he stays healthy, he's going to be great.
Now. Yeah.
I mean, being on the Wizards doesn't concern me because we've seen what he did in Portland when Dame's been injured at different times. He was just the guy, he just ran the point and did what he wanted, shot 25 shots a game. Like, he was good. And that's exactly what you'd expect from him in this scenario as well. Like, obviously no one else is really going to be taking the ball out of his hands too much. Bub Carrington's gone down with an injury in the last preseason game for the Wizards. So,
I missed that.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but he was carried off the court. It didn't look amazing. So Keon Ellis, that's very early.
Very early. Pistol chasing some more steals.
He's just loading up on blocks and steals. I tell you what, he's going to win that category by about 50 each every single week.
Yep.
But yeah, I think CJ is in a great spot. I've got him in another league at the moment. Happy to have some stocks in him, and this is probably around the time you get him.
For sure. Drew Holiday after CJ McCullum, Draymond Green. While a lot of people dislike him, it's fair to say, when we're talking 9-cat basketball and getting Draymond Green in the hundreds, he gets you some points, he gets you boards, he gets you assists, he gets you steals. He does everything pretty well. Percentages do hurt from time to time, but when you're picking up a bloke like that in the hundreds, it can be a real asset to your team, Braino.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely can be.
Santi Aldama straight after him with the more injury news coming out of Memphis. Scottie Pippen Jr. now, not that it's in direct competition for him with minutes on the court, but he's out another 12 weeks now. So even more minutes open up there at the Memphis Grizzlies. And I feel like Santi and Triple J, especially to start the year, they're going to get quite a few shots. Keon Ellis, as we stated early, to rim shots 2.0. Andrew Wiggins, 0 Fox given. That's probably one of my guys that I purposely try and steer clear of in every draft.
Mm-hmm. I think that's
yeah.
Not where have we taken him there?
That's 107.
107. Yeah, that's too early for me.
Yeah.
Tamani Kamara was the man I nearly pulled the trigger on last round, and there he goes to hoops. I did it again. There goes my man. I need to try and work out who's going to be my bailout. That is incredibly late for Kamara this year. Kamara's been going in the 80 to 90 range, so 180 is an absolute steal.
Yeah. Naz Reid next at 10.1. Keontae George 10.2. Keegan Murray goes to 10.3. Pick 111 to Pistol. He'll be placing Keegan Murray straight on IR. So he'll have Hero and Keegan Murray on the IR to start the season, given that Murray will miss, the first probably 5 weeks with that thumb injury?
Is it 5? Yeah, I think it's more than that, to be honest.
The UCL surgery he had on his thumb. Tobias Harris. Next, Kyrie Irving. So FG's expert team is going straight to the IR with Kyrie, banking on him being back in January. Not a bad pick, especially if he's in with a shot come that time of year. Jaden McDaniels goes next to the ATL Goldie. Cookies and cream. You're 2 picks away, Braino. What are you thinking now that Kamara's gone? Don't tell us who, but where are you looking at going?
I am looking at a man who will not help my points, but he will definitely help my stocks. I think I do need to try and find some more stocks now. I've also got there's two guys I've got in mind at the moment. It just depends on which way I want to go. Obviously, I'm punting rebounds, which I don't need to go and get a big man that's going to fill that sheet. I need to get a big man that's going to shoot me some threes. So yeah, I've got a couple of guys in mind. I won't give it away straight away, but I might even be able to get them both on the back to back. So let's see how we go here and what this next pick looks like.
I am massive on Keyshawn George this year.
Yeah,
he's ready to break out there at Washington, and there's not really much else going on there. You talk about the likes of CJ McCollum and Alexander Sarr, and outside of that, you said today Bub Carrington's been carried off with an injury. We're going to wait to see what happens there and injury timelines and what have you, but he gets your blocks. The field goal percentages aren't great, but can shoot the three, good at getting defensive stocks. He's going to be an asset to anyone that gets him in their team this year.
Keyshawn George is one of those guys that wasn't on anyone's radar until he had that monster game. I think it was like 3 or 4 days ago.
4 blocks and a steal. Yeah,
Kingy was very, very high on him already. So Kingy can take that one. But yeah, I feel like Keyshawn George could have a breakout. He could be in the most improved player category when we're talking at the end of the year. So. I've gone with Jabari Smith Jr. again. Like that, I think is the third draft out of 4 leagues that I'm in that I've taken him just because he fits the build every time. You're looking for a guy who isn't an amazing rebounder. You don't need him to go out and get 8, 9 boards, but he will shoot threes. He doesn't hurt my free throw percentage too much, and also he's not too bad from the field. So, good points guy. Honestly, wouldn't surprise me if Jabari Smith Jr. finished the year averaging closer to 20 points than 15.
For sure.
Especially with Fred VanVleet out now, there's just usage that's gone.
Yeah, 100%.
I don't think Amen Thompson is the guy that will soak all of that usage up. I think it's going to go. Obviously, KD is going to be the guy there, but yeah, I think Jabari Smith Jr. loves a shot or two. He hasn't seen a shot doesn't like, that's for sure. So I'm happy to take him there. Fits the build perfectly.
We see Junkbuster here. Every big that has played with Luka has had their best career or the best of their careers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that because Luka is as good as what he is, but yeah, Ayton's still a bad egg. So yeah,
I think Ayton's still going to be fine. I think Ayton's still going to be fine. He's going to be kept in line. That's for sure. I think there's no way in the world he's going to be on a team with LeBron running his mouth. So I'm confident, and obviously Luka as well. He's very well known to speak up when he needs to. So I just think that Ayton's in a position where he knows that he could potentially win a chip or contribute to winning a chip. So he's going to keep his mouth shut, I think.
You would hope so. Derek Lively next. Nick Claxton after that. Clacko. Ace Bailey, the second rookie, going off the board there in the 10th round. Pick 120. Herb Jones next. I like that. That's a really nice pick late there by Luke.
Oh, there he goes. Team. That was who I was hoping would come back to me, Herb Jones. He's so good. Stocks are amazing from him. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, bugger.
Ace Bailey, the second rookie off the board, though, Braino. Does the knee tendonitis scare you at all?
Yeah, it does. As soon as I saw that, I'm like, oh, shit, that's a concern. Not enough for me not to draft him, but it's definitely a bit of a concern for me. So, yeah. Not quite sure which way I'm going to go here.
You work out which way you go, mate. There's a couple of comments I'm going to bring up here. Friday Pie Tech says MVP Ayton. For me, mate, how many of you had to drink and you need to lay off the sauce? So yeah, let's not do that. Junkbuster says Ayton will be getting all the play, so I don't see why he's falling. Very odd. I don't think he does get all the play. I think it's going to be Luka, and then it'll be Reeves, and then it'll be Ayton. So I reckon he'll be third string. And then even when LeBron comes back, that relegates him to number 4. So he may get some boards, may get some points. Defensively, he's pretty horrible, to say the least. So that's probably why he's falling. Good player, yeah, but when we're talking 9-cat basketball, not so good. SMK wants to know, is that Kingy drafting? So someone's obviously going with a defensive heavy build or that punch 4 categories build. As we see Zach Eddy going to H-Town Hustlers. He'll be out until around Christmas time. But Nikola Jovic there, mate. Talk us through that one.
That feels like great value. I feel like what I've got him at 124 there. Yeah, obviously he does what I need him to do, but I just think being the starter, I'm not expecting him to get 32 to 34 minutes type starter because I think Khalil Ware will get his minutes off the bench and Bam will move to the 4. So I think there'll be a little bit of lineup chess going on there for a bit until they work out the optimal lineup in Miami. But yeah, Jovic obviously they're a big fan of him out there. He's always on their social media. He's always spoken of in really highly regard by anyone who follows Miami. And I don't know, maybe Pistol can back me up on this one, but I just feel like Jovic can take a very big leap forward this year. And obviously he's not a big stocks guy, but he fills the stat sheet. We've seen him get assists as well out of position, which is probably the biggest enticement for me. That's a stat I'm keeping my eye on pretty closely because it's hard to find assists at the back end of a draft. And I think he had a game where he got 9, 8, and 7 or something like that in the preseason. So yeah, a bit of facilitator type stuff with him. And there isn't really anybody on the court that can do that. Norm Powell's not a known distributor. Obviously Bam can do it a bit, but I feel like Jovic might be the preferred kind of point forward style power forward to start the year for Miami.
Yeah.
Until Hero's back anyway.
Hero's back. Mason Miller, an obvious Orlando Magic man. Wendell Carter Jr. better than Ayton. There you go. And SMK says Pistol Pete is the new kingy. No, let's not give Pistol a big head, please. Jaden Ivey goes next, so he'll go straight to the IR, given he's had that surgery on his knee. He'll be out the first 4 weeks at least. Talk about a rookie that's impressed, especially in his last preseason game, Braino, and he will be a topic of conversation tomorrow night in our Supercoach show. It's VJ Edgecombe. Yeah,
that's a really good pick there from Cookies and Kareem. This is around the time where you can get him. I think as soon as they tick over 120 in a draft, I think he's fair game. Obviously, he put up those stats the other day in a game where he wasn't playing against starters or anything like. They had a lot of their starters out. So I'm not putting heaps of stock into it, but just honestly, he's kind of unlucky, isn't he? It's like being in a draft behind a generational talent like Cooper Flagg. He is a guaranteed number 1 pick in this draft without Cooper Flagg. And I think that just goes to show how good this kid is. Like, he is a talent. He's super athletic too. Like, the stocks, the blocks, the steals and blocks are amazing. But this guy scores the ball like a third-year player. Like, he's really impressive.
Yep. Dylan Harper next, like his upside. Aaron Gordon next. Yves Messi from the New Orleans Pelicans there. Brook Lopez to Pistol. Good value there, getting Brook Lopez at 130. He may be playing less minutes, but gets threes and blocks there, Braino.
Yeah, sorry. Who are we talking about?
Pistol grabbed Brook Lopez at 130.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. I feel like Lopez is fair game. Once again, you get to the back end of a draft. I think he's great value. Like he gets those blocks that you usually can't find at the back end of a draft. So, yeah, rate that. That's a nice pick.
Pistol, that's the last compliment you get as well. Zachary Rishashir goes next at the 11-11, 131. Dante DiVincenzo, 132. Yes, it is. Rishashir, while not known for his defensive ability, when you've got the likes of Jalen Johnson and who else you got there, Tingus Pingus and Dyson Daniels, he could just get some easy passing lane steals with those sorts of guys hounding the ball. So I like the upside there for Rishashir. And even there was a bit of tape that came out today on Rishashir, fadeaways from the mid-range and looking really clean with those new, what are they? The Carmelo Anthony looking braids that he had in.
Yeah, he's looking clean. And look, obviously we just don't think of him as a first-round pick because the draft last year or the year before was terrible. But, you're a first-round pick. If you're a number 1 pick, you're a number 1 pick. So I think he's going to show us this year that he deserved that title. I expect a pretty big bump from him this year.
Yep. Ty Jerome, I like that pick, especially if he's healthy and ready to go for the Grizzlies at 133. Again, at this stage of the draft, you can take some punts on certain players because realistically, these are the players that you could recycle through your waivers. So I like the upside there by Hoops. I did it again. Caston Wallace from the Oklahoma City Thunder to 0 Fox Given at 12-2. Aaron Naismith goes to Pistol at 12-3. Matthews' nice team takes Semi Hausa at the 12-4. DeJounte Murray straight to IR. We had a bit of a discussion about DeJounte Murray the other day, Braino, on one of our episodes. And while he's been good in the past, he's sort of regressed a little bit since he's final days in Atlanta, and or even from the San Antonio Spurs into Atlanta and now at the New Orleans Pelicans.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, he was, in the, probably the best spot in his career when he was at the Spurs, and then obviously he went to the Hawks. He had to play behind Trey as a two guard, which he just isn't. Obviously didn't like that situation, and obviously wasn't in the great headspace either over there. So understandable. I think he's found a better fit now in New Orleans, and I think it's good for everybody. I think it's good for the Hawks because he didn't fit that roster. But it's great for the Pels as well. It's just a shame because I drafted him in last year pretty early on, to be completely honest. And sadly, didn't work out for me. But it'll be good to see him healthy.
For sure. Jeremy Grant, next. Not a big fan of his game, but he'll be fine at this stage of the draft. Where's he going? 138. Nickel Alexander-Walker, another. He's an Atlanta Hawks man now, Braino, at 139. And then Cumbuckets himself, Jonathan Kuminga. I really don't know where to rate Kuminga this year. Like, he's got breakout potential, but just looks so disinterested at the Golden State Warriors at the moment.
Yeah,
you're on the clock, sorry.
No one knows where that's going, to be completely honest. I'm just going to take Scoot Henderson and stash him.
Beautiful.
Fits the lineup. I've done that in 2 leagues now in a very similar build. So, yeah, we're not going to get Scoot Henderson. I would have taken him happily at 100 to 110 if he was healthy and fit. So I feel like getting him at 140 is, that's nice.
Yeah.
Sorry, who are we talking about? Kuminga. Yeah, no one really knows how that's all going to play out. Obviously, they want him off their roster. He's gone and taken a 1-year deal to try and back himself in, which is completely fine. Good on him. They just need to play him. Like, if it was me, like, if you want to build a trade value up of a player, you need to play him. You need them to ball out. You need them to do well. I think that there's nice little opportunity early for him. Hopefully he gets enough minutes for them to build up his trade value, and then hopefully they can move him on.
For sure. Our Unlimited League, again, for those that are playing NBA Supercoach this year, 817-149. If you're in Australia and playing Supercoach, jump in that league. It is free, and you win prizes if you come top spot each week. Bobby Portis to the 12-10 H-Town Hustlers. Brandon Bajemski, 12-11, 12-12 to, Luke's agreeable team. Hasn't drafted yet, still making up his mind. But with your side, you're stashing Scoot Henderson. You've got 2 picks left. Where are you looking at going?
I have 2 picks left. How many picks on? Because I know these people are going to be watching and try and snipe me.
Yeah.
I have a decision to make on whether I want to really just double down on, because I'm great with threes. I'm great with free throw percentage. No one's beating me in either of those. I'm great with points as well. So I feel like I've locked up, 3 to 4 categories pretty quickly. It's assists, steals, and blocks, and I need to kind of work out which way I want to go with that. Assists are incredibly hard to find at the back end of a draft, but there is one guy that I'll probably try and get off waivers if I can. So it's probably like, where are my stocks going to come from that I need to try and play a little bit of catch up on. I'm just having a look now, and I'm like league average at the moment, like right dead center in the middle in both of those categories. So I probably do need to prioritize those 2 steals and blocks. That's probably where I'm looking, if that gives you a hint. I just don't want to say a player because I know these guys are watching.
No doubt. As we see the clock running down here, Luke's got a big decision to make here. He was probably waiting for you to say a name so that he could get it.
Yeah, he's run the clock out a fair bit. I think he'll be maybe in and out of the draft room. Isaiah Jackson, that's a good pick.
Ajax.
I like that. That's really good value there for Ajax. Starting center in Indiana. And I just don't think he's going to play more than 24 to 26 minutes, but I think that's enough for him as he's a great block per minute guy. He's going to fill the stat sheet for you, and he fits a certain build. It's just a shame that he probably hurts your free throw and hurts your threes if you're trying to consolidate in that area.
Yeah, for sure. Malik Monk goes next at the 13-2. You're up next, so I'll let you have a bit of a look. But SMK Pistol is in our $100 league, mate. Send a message in the chat there, and you can get a hold of him there. What else have we got here? Have you got your eyes on someone there?
Yeah. There's one guy good. That I'm just waiting for the clock for the timer to run out. And
so if we're talking bold calls here, Braino, for the NBA season coming up, you're an Atlanta Hawks man.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they can go over 50 wins?
Yes. I think it's under 50 wins is a disappointing year for the Hawks this year. Just with what the roster that they've constructed, there's just a real beautiful. That works out well. He's taken Dennis Schroeder there. I'm going to lock up some blocks and some points and threes, and whilst continuing to keep my free throw percentage intact, and also continuing to follow my punt rebounds trend, but still get blocks on the board. That's actually quite a tricky thing to do. And I will get my man, the Huffington Post, Jay Huff. I feel like he's a really nice fit there. Isaiah Jackson went 3 picks earlier. I think these two are neck and neck. I think they're probably going to play 26 and 22 or 24 and 24. So, yeah, and Jay Huff fits the punt incredibly well at this back end of the draft. It's so hard to find a guy that can help you in multiple categories in the second last round of a draft like he can. So, yeah, and when you get a big man that can do the things like he blocks at an incredibly good rate, you don't care about his rebounds, but he scores points as well. He's just a bucket. He shoots threes and has quite a good free throw. So, yeah, he fits exactly what I'm trying to do there. I was really hoping I wasn't going to get sniped by H-Town Hustlers. He's done that to me 2 or 3 times this draft.
Yeah, no, he can't do it to you anymore given that he's got no more picks in front of you, mate. So, Atlanta Hawks, 50 wins. That'd be their most wins for quite a long time, but when you're talking Trey, Dyson, Jalen, Rishashir, Tingus Pingus, Okongwu, they've got the team to start winning now. They've done their little rebuild. Alexander Walker coming across from T-Wolves, underrated signing as well. I quite like what they're doing there.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, like I said, it's going to be very disappointing if we go under 50. I think Trey is going to have a massive year this year. I think we're going to be at the end of the season talking about Trey as an MVP candidate, to be completely honest. It's a shame just because he's in a small market team like Atlanta. They don't get as much attention. They don't get as much national televised games. But look at, he's been the assist leader for God knows how many years. Like he gets his team involved. He's now got Tingus Pingus there, old Kristaps. He's going to make Atlanta better and make Trey better. Having a big man, and this will be the first time in Trey's career he's got a big man that can stretch the floor for him as well. Like having Capella there just clogs the paint. Okongwu's not a good 3-point shooter. Like there just hasn't been anybody or any threat on the perimeter as a big man in the pick and pop. So I'm really looking forward to that this year. John Collins is the last one that comes to mind when they played small ball 5, but Trey's in for a big one this year. For
sure. Jalen Wells goes to Matt's Majestic team. He will get some time early on at the 13-5. Chris Paul, 13-6. Cam Whitmore to ATL Goldie. He's looking at a bit of upside there for Cam Whitmore. Clay Thompson, 13-8. Russell Westbrook at the 13-9. Colin Sexton to Pistol at the 13-10. Dylan Brooks, he's another one that I try and avoid in all drafts, 13-11. Grayson Allen, good pick up at this time of the draft there at 13-12 by Hoops. I did it again. He has really constructed a nice team there.
It's a very well-rounded roster, isn't it? It's probably, if we have a quick look through, probably one of my favourite rosters. I'm usually a defense guy, but just the way that he's built this, he's gone and stashed guards early, so he's smashed that. And then he's gone and picked up a lot of these guys that will provide immediate value straight away, like Dante DiVincenzo and Naz Reid in Minnesota are good picks. Tamani Kamara is great. Chris Middleton in the last round is completely fine because at the end of the day, you're probably dropping these guys anyway. Sure. And yeah, Grayson Allen gets a bump with no Jalen Green, and Ty Jerome, God knows how long. Scottie Pippen's out for 12 weeks. So,
that's right.
Yeah, there's a lot to like there. I mean, obviously, if Jar is there to start the season, I don't think it even matters. I think that there's, some good minutes for Ty Jerome. I like him as a player. He was great in Cleveland and great as a waiver wire streamer last year. I think I would have had him on and off about 5 or 10 times last year. So, yeah, I rate that. It's a really nice team.
Yeah, for sure. We're into the last round, ladies and gentlemen. If you've hung around as long as the over 100 people in the live at the moment are, give us a thumbs up, please. We would appreciate it. If you're listening back to this on audio, if you'd like the visual, jump across to YouTube, have a bit of a look so you can see where everyone's going. As much as it is great for us to talk through it, sometimes the visual representation so you can see how players or coaches are constructing their teams can be a little easier for you to understand. Anthony Black at the 14-2, Moses Moody, who looks like he will start at this stage in Golden State at the 14-3. He gives you threes, can get you some defensive stats too. Don't mind that. Igor Demin, 14-4. We saw he played for the first time in a little while yesterday. Braino, you're liking him as a 6 foot. What is he? 6'8", 6'9".
6'9". Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah, I really like it. I like his game. He's very raw, but he just has the makings of a really elite playmaker. And when you're 6'9", you just have advantages, don't you, that other players just don't have. So, give him time. But the Brooklyn situation, I'm quite concerned that it's going to be an absolute dog's breakfast of a rotation with, was it Trey Orr's there? Saraf is also there. And the Atlanta guard, Kobe Buffkin, he's also there. So there's just like 4 guards that, need minutes or need opportunity. I'd say Saraf and Trey Orr end up just playing in the G League, to be completely honest. Apparently Igor Demin, or Yegor Yemen is how you pronounce it, it will be the starting point guard in Brooklyn. It's more a matter of how long. Hopefully they give him some time.
For sure. Nemeas Keta, FG's expert team, the last round there goes there at the 14-5. Davion Mitchell, 14-6, who looks like he will start the year at the PG spot. More of a defensive type of guard there at the Miami Heat. PJ Washington, nice little late round steal there at the 14-7, the cookies and cream. Kyle Kuzma, the basketballing Milwaukee Lakers, Washington Wizards legend, goes at 14-8. You've taken Alonzo Ball with your last pick. I'll get back to it in a sec, but I guess for me, the 3 that I always try and steer clear of, Braino, is Andrew Wiggins, Dylan Brooks, and Kyle Kuzma in drafts.
Yes, it's honestly, there's just nothing to like about Kyle Kuzma. The bloke's a flog. He's also shit. And I guess when you're a flog and you're not good, it's just the worst kind of situation to be in. So yeah, look, I take the piss. I'm no expert myself when it comes to basketball. I'm not a good player myself, but I just feel like his field goal's bad. He's a bad free throw shooter. He'll fall into rebounds, but he'll hurt you a lot when it comes to field goal percentage, when it comes to efficiency. He's not an assist guy either. This is Giannis's team. He's just going to stand in the corner and do what Giannis tells him to do. So, catch and shoot kind of guy at best.
Yep. Alonzo Ball to you. Nice little late round pick there. Ayo Dosunmu, Alex Caruso. And I can't see who's the last pick there, mate, because it's got it covered on my screen. But can you tell us from your side?
I cannot. No, it's a glitch all the time. What it does is it doesn't fill in the final spot until the draft's actually complete, and it says it's complete in 10 minutes. So anyway, that's fine.
Yeah. A couple of comments before we do finish up here, Braino. From Matrix, you are an expert at being a flog, though.
I learnt from him.
Yeah, he is the king of them. And Nikhil Patel goes, what's wrong with Wiggins? Oh, I don't have an hour, mate, but I'll try and get straight to the chase. Field goal percentage, ordinary. Takes shocking shots. Percentages are bad. Doesn't really do anything outside of hurting the team that he's playing on. Used to rely on his athleticism a lot, and now that he's slowing down a little bit, I feel like he's going to be let's say 15 points per game on 5 of 15 from the field, and he's not real good from the free throw line either. There's just not much to like about him.
He's a weird one, isn't he? Because everybody puts in his, number 1 pick. Everybody kind of puts that kind of mantle on his head, and it automatically props him up to being a respectable player. And I just think that there's been a natural decline over the last couple of years. And obviously we're looking at his role in this team at the moment, and it's murky. It's questionable. He's just not doing anywhere near as much as he used to. He's good in a couple of categories, but then in category leagues, he hurts you more than he helps you. I think that's my opinion anyway. I took Lonzo with the last pick again. It's one of those, perfect punt build kind of picks, and I feel like it's more of an upside swing than anything. If Lonzo comes out in game 1 and he plays 11 minutes off the bench and that's where it ends, that's fine. I just drop him. I feel like there's just zero risk with your last couple of picks. But in the best case scenario, we saw him get 9 assists the other night. That's what he can do. So, and I needed someone to prop up my assists late in the draft, and I feel like I got that with him. So, we'll see how we go.
Beautiful. You've talked through your team. Luke Pollock in the chat he had the last pick, and he took DeAndre Hunter with the last pick. That's a nice pick to start, especially with no Garland to start the year. He's going to get a lot of minutes there. Yeah,
I like that, Polly. That's nice. I'm actually surprised he didn't go until 168. That's very late.
Yeah, good value.
Yeah, great value. So I'll quickly recap my team. Started with Shea. Shea fell to me at 4, which was not my plan, so it threw out my whole punt and my whole queue. So I took Shea. I lent into a best available initially until I then started to configure a bit of an identity for this team. Donovan Mitchell at the second pick at 9. When did I get him? 2020? 21. Then into Jaren Jackson Jr. So then I started to have a bit of an idea on whether I wanted to punt rebounds. Cooper Flagg does a bit of everything. Great stocks. Peyton Pritchard, Mattis Bazelis. My guys, Jalen Green, probably reached a little bit early on Jalen Green, but I'm happy to lock him in. I think he fits the build. He'll get me, honestly, he'll get me 23 to 25 points per game this year in Phoenix as the number 2 behind Devin Booker. Bradley Beal is a guy that I feel like is just an accidental my guy now. I think I've got him in all 4 of my leagues. So, I feel like when you get down to the 90 to 100, Bradley Beal pops his head up in builds like this. I then got Kevin Porter Jr., Jabari Smith Jr., Nikola Jovic, who I think is in for a pretty big year in Miami this year, Scoot Henderson as a stash. So I've got my 2 IR slots set in Jalen Green and Nikola Jovic. And then in Jalen Green and Scoot Henderson. And then I can get 2 off waivers. And then I finished the draft with Jay Huff, just locking in my blocks there and my 3s, and then Lonzo Ball to then top off my assists. I think the only questionable category is steals for me. That can probably swing me week to week. So I'm probably going to have to look on the waiver wire to see if I can find some steals.
Beautiful, mate. Before we finish up tonight, what have we got coming on Insight before the NBA season starts?
Mate, we've got a fair bit. Well, obviously, tomorrow is the big day. We're going to be recording the weekly fantasy basketball preview. We'll be talking about, the teams on back-to-backs, the waiver wire targets for week 1, if you're looking to try and really take advantage of week 1 and win your match up there. So we'll talk through that, the players that we're targeting in each position for each category. We'll also then be going live tomorrow night, Horse, me, you, and Matrix, to do the Supercoach preview. So, that's going to be exciting. Looking forward to that. Then on Tuesday, obviously, we're going to be basically recording every single day for fantasy basketball purposes. But for Supercoach, we're going to be revealing our team and answering all our subscriber questions Tuesday night before tip-off Wednesday. So, it's not too late. You can see our Supercoach teams and that, and you can definitely ask any questions that you have about your final team. The link is in the description below.
Beautiful thing. Love your work. You've drafted well, mate, as well as each and every one of those that were inside this $50 league. Remember, it is $50 each, $600 up for grabs. So as serious as it gets here at Ball Logic. We'll be back tomorrow night. We've got a couple of shows coming then, and then leading into the NBA season, we've got previews, we've got waiver wire ads and pickups, we've got injury updates, and a whole lot more coming up here on Ball Logic. If you haven't yet, like, subscribe, and bell. If you're listening to us on audio, please give us the tick, put the bell on. That way, whenever we drop an episode, it downloads straight onto your phone. Put on the auto downloads. The 5-star review is also appreciated, which helps us and helps the show get out to those that love a bit of banter along with their NBA knowledge. But for tonight, Braino, you've done an absolute treat, mate. Well done.
Thanks, mate. It was fun. Thanks for being able to talk me through it. So I got a bit of time to think. Appreciate it.
Nah, it's okay, mate. I couldn't psych you out. You're in the zone. But I'm the Horse, and we'll be back tomorrow night with more Ball Logic news. Until then, we'll see ya. Peace.
Bye.